The Rockford IceHogs return home tonight to take on the Grand Rapids Griffins at BMO Harris Bank Center. Joseph Zakrzewski once again with you, and I'm joined by the captain of your Rockford IceHogs and Garrett Mitchell. And Garrett, the IceHogs coming back home after a 5-game road trip, their second longest road trip of the season, and it was a thrilling end to that one last Tuesday and an overtime victory against the Cleveland Monsters. You would score in that contest for the IceHogs. You've been playing some pretty good hockey as of late, but for now, you come back home, and I mean, you talk about a playoff mentality, a playoff picture that's tightening by the second. These are some key games for the IceHogs coming up.
For sure, and I think that's obviously our message to the younger guys. It's just like, hey, stay the course. Keep doing what we've done to put us in this position. From the start of the year, and we climbed back out of a big hole there. I'd say 15 games into the season, we were able to kind of turn that around, and we've done a great job. We've got a young group of guys that are excited, and there's a lot going on for them. It's a lot of hockey for those guys to play too. So we're just trying to keep them focused on what we're trying to do and what the end goal is. That's the end of it.
The IceHogs coming back after that road trip. They went 2-3 on that road trip. They get victories over Milwaukee and the overtime victory, their most recent contest on Tuesday against Cleveland. For you as a player and surveying the locker room, was a lot of hockey in a short amount of time, going to a lot of different places, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Cleveland, Ohio. Your assessment, reading the room a little bit, again, 2-3 record. What was the biggest takeaway for you guys coming back home now after a trek like that?
Yeah, like I said, I think obviously our youth, I think, maybe showed it a little bit there in that 10-game stretch that we had. And, it's not to fault any of those guys. There's not one time that I felt that, we'd didn't put the effort forth or whatever. It's just that it's a lot of hockey. It's a huge change for guys to come from college to or junior, to play the pro game. And when you've got 17 first-year players, or let's call even the second-year guys first-year players, because playing 30 games last year doesn't really give you a full taste of really what the pro game is. So for us to play. We played 20 games or whatever, 15 games in 30 days coming up here in April. So that's a test, and that in itself is a great opportunity for some of these young guys to understand of the grind of the pro game and understand of how you need to play. It doesn't have to be that 5-1 victory every night or 7-6. It can we can grind a game out and win 2-1 or 1-0. So it's I think we've taken some great steps. Winning those overtime games, winning those shootout games, those are all moving in the right direction. So we're excited about it.
Well, the IceHogs not just a lot of games to deal with too. They got a lot of distractions off the ice as well. This coming Monday is the NHL trade deadline for a lot for the entire American Hockey League and National Hockey League as well. You've been in a lot of locker rooms with a lot of young guys, as you mentioned, in that locker room, on social media, reading the rumors, reading what's going to happen. We saw a big trade just the other day with Brandon Hagel, former IceHog, making his way down to the Tampa Bay Lightning now in exchange for a couple of first-rounders and a couple prospects as well. There's a lot to take and a lot of off-ice distractions. How do you calm the room down for a lot of these young guys that might be checking their phones or checking Twitter, wherever they're going to see what's the latest?
Yeah, it happens every single year. You have there's that. Right now we're in the dog days of every season. I could pick the handful of games that every single year it's going to be the same. Guys are going to be getting a little bit beat up and tired and everything else. And then obviously you throw the trade deadline in there, and there's, like I said, there's guys that maybe want to be moved because they want a different opportunity, and that's great. That's what this game's all about. On the flip side of that, there's guys that maybe don't expect it. That Hagel trade, I think, is maybe takes a few people by surprise a little bit, just him having so much success in Chicago, and but that's a testament to Tampa Bay wanting him, and that's Tampa Bay stepping up and saying, hey, this is a kid that we want to build around, and I played a little bit here with Hags, and that's a kid that just is willing to work all the time. So for our younger guys, guys that are looking to make that next step, that's what it's all about, and so I'm excited obviously for Hags. He's going to get an opportunity, but it's a great opportunity for our guys to kind of look around and know that everybody's always watching, and there's whether it's in this organization or the next, the goal is to play in the NHL, and that's that's my goal for all those guys is to make the next step. So it's an exciting time, just keeping the guys focused on playing and worrying about all the other distractions later on, and we can't control that. Yeah. The only thing we can control is our effort. So we've done a good job of it. We're excited to kind of get things rolling here, moving into the playoffs.
Catching up with the captain and Garrett Mitchell. And Garrett, before I let you go, big week against the Grand Rapids Griffins and the Milwaukee Admirals. So trying to weed out all those distractions, block everything out, focus on the task at hand. If the playoffs were to start tonight, Garrett, it's the IceHogs against the Grand Rapids Griffins. I'd imagine that kind of mentality is what's going to take to see success going into not only tonight, but the weeks to come.
Yeah, for sure. You could look at our division probably at Christmas time and know that it's going to come down to, the last, probably the last handful of games of the season, and really probably the last week. So, we play a lot of games against those teams, the Iowas, the Grand Rapids, the Milwaukees. So, coming down to it, there's not a better time in the season of the year than going into the playoffs. I've been through a couple of runs, and obviously we've got guys like Stance and Cons who's won, and it's a blast. There's not a better time of the year. The weather starts warming up, guys. Can get outside after practice and hang out and do stuff. So it's a great time of year, and we're excited to kind of move into it here.
I know the fans are excited as well. Garrett, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The captain, Garrett Mitchell, joining us on the IceHogs broadcast network as the IceHogs and Grand Rapids Griffins going toe-to-toe tonight at BMO Harris Bank Center. So let's get you back to the action. You're listening and watching Rockford IceHogs Hockey on the Hogs broadcast network presented by BMO Harris Bank.